So we are good to go. Um, Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope we are doing well. I think we have quite a number of people joining in. We have like 13 people joining in. So we are going to start right away. The others will join. Okay. Um, Hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
Okay, Cynthia. Tell us about yourself. We've put out there you are the head of staff for Fido Ghana. We have a whole profile, so I'm not going to bore the audience with your profile.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself, your journey, um, and where you are right now, and maybe some things you are working on currently.
Okay. I hope this is not a work interview.
Oh, no, no, no. Oh, not at all.
No, just kidding. So, you know how we always get asked, tell us about yourself in interviews and all.
Hmm.
Anyway, so my name is Cynthia Owusu. Cynthia Owusu is actually my maiden name. My husband's name is Okra. I haven't started using it yet, even though I've been married for more than a decade. So, so I am a family person, just like I mentioned. I have two kids. I'm a Christian. Now, when it comes to my career, I read computer science and statistics. I studied computer science and statistics at the University of Ghana, and I did management information systems at GIMPA for my master's. Um, After I did my national service with Students Loan Trust Fund. And that was where I developed love for numbers and application development. So my journey has been back and forth because I was trying quite a number of things and trying to test the water to see which one would best fit what I wanted. So national service, that was why I was developing, desktop applications, some simple websites applications and web applications and some websites too. Yeah. So after national service, I got a job with a company called Hudson Price Solutions, and it was a credit reference bureau. And I was basically cleaning data, making sure that the data was good for credit referencing. So after I think I worked there for a year and a half, and then I got an opportunity to join Bayport as a credit risk officer. So I was just doing reconciliations and making sure customers' data that we had in the system was the same thing in terms of their balances was the same thing that we were submitting to controller and accountant general for deductions. Then along the line, because I had the ability to write querying or write SQL queries, I started automating some of our processes or optimizing some of our processes. So a process that could take like days to do, I was able to write some queries to reduce it to like maybe I think the minimum I had was like 14 minutes. Yeah, and it was always between 14 and 15 minutes. So which was like a massive improvement from where I worked. And then I was promoted to the business intelligence analyst position in Bayport. Now, when I realized that now I could, my confidence had gone up and I could do a few things, I decided looking for other opportunities. I had been with Bayport for 4 years then. So I went to Peg Africa as a senior data analyst. That was where I saw Google Sheets for the first time, and then I started learning how best I can also optimize processes using Google Sheets. Yeah, and then I learned more, I better my skill in Excel, and then I started learning about Tableau as well from there. I was with Peg Africa for I think a year and a half again, and then I left and I started working as a freelancer where I was migrating data here and there for some company. And then COVID hit. That was during COVID. After COVID, then I went to BTL Africa as a data analyst, and and a research data and research manager. I think that was a role. So I was sitting in Ghana here and run researches in Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, like in other places, just for the company. So I work with brands like Nestle, Unilever, all the big brands that we have, FMOs that we have. I did a few research on Nestle's Milo 3-in-1. I did Maggie, the Maggie. I did a cube. I did the sachet Maggie as well. I did a lot of ideal milk projects as well. So and I think the coffee as well. So sometimes I'll travel to Cape Coast, to Takoradi, yeah, to Kumasi just for research purposes. And after I was with BTL Africa for a while, I joined. I went to the bank, but I didn't last in the bank. Then I joined Fido. I've been with Fido for the past 3 years. I joined Fido as a business intelligence analyst, senior business intelligence analyst, and later on has been promoted into the role of the head of staff role, which mainly is like I deputize the MD, and I also make sure that I'm not an HR, but I make sure in the absence of HR or if someone doesn't want to talk to HR, I'm there. So I make sure there's cohesion between managers and then their subordinates. And that's basically what I do now. Strategies, how we can get things going. And also, I'm in charge of ESG in Fido, at Fido here. Some of the programs we are bringing on, the reporting we do for investors and all, it all lies with me. And I also sit on our budget. So whatever spends that happen in house, it should be in alignment with what we have in our budget before it can be approved. Yeah. So that's like in a nutshell about me and my journey.
Okay. I think that's quite an interesting one because what's projected on the internet. I mean, and even from what I hear from people, they say, oh, they start as a data analyst, and but from what I gathered from you, I mean, you just started with data entry, and then now you were looking at how you can make your automate some of your processes, and then now it sparked the interest, and then now you wanted to know more, you wanted to learn more, and now um, you found yourself working in other fields, other industries, and then now you're in strategy. Yes, you are the one saying, okay, let's go, don't go. Why is this here?
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, for me, this is a very interesting one. Um, I have a question. I mean,
Mm,
I know
okay.
sometimes it takes time to be able to even get the name of an episode. Um, yes, but I decided to pick from spreadsheets to strategy. And then when I asked you, you said you were good with everything. I just want to, I want us to know, what does this phrase mean to you, professionally and then personally. How does this phrase speak to you? I mean, if you look back at your life and then looking at where you are now, um, maybe it will definitely touch some points for you. So we want to know what that is.
Okay. So this is how I understand it. Previously, I was the one um, bringing the data, bringing the numbers. I was the one telling people what our data said. I was the one communicating our data or interpreting our data to the people in my organization. Now I am the person using the data to guide decisions or make decisions. Decisions that affect or guide my decision, that affect people, that affect my budget, that affect the company's vision and the mission, and also reminds me of, for me, it's more like how I have grown. Like
Mm,
previously you were here and now you are at the end. Now the good part of it is the fact that because I have the spreadsheet or the numbers on my fingertips. If I'm making decisions based off the data, it makes it easier. And most of the numbers that are presented to me, I easily understand them. So if I see a chart, or if I see a particular number, if I see a particular percentage, it's way easier for me to understand as a leader than previously. Or if I need to take a decision, it's way easier for me because I was the one giving these numbers previously. So that's how I understand the the topic.
Okay. That's very interesting. I mean, you've worked with Excel, Google Sheets, Power BI, Python, name it, all of them. You mentioned Tableau.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've had some experience with it, and I mean, Excel,
Okay.
these applications.
Mm-hmm.
Some people find it cumbersome. Um, what are some of the tips? I mean, when you are using these technologies to work, because I mean, they are the tools you work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I even have some people who have actually taken the course
Mm-hmm.
and done the data analysis and all that, and then they're like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, okay, so then what are you going to do with um these things or this knowledge that you have
Yeah.
acquired? What would you tell that person?
Okay. So I always say the secret to succeeding in the data analytics space is when you understand the it's when you understand the data that you have. So for instance, if I have marketing data and I want to analyze it, if I don't understand the data and what I am looking out for in the data, then I've already failed right from the beginning. So to succeed in a data space, the first thing is to get some domain knowledge or some domain business knowledge. Um, for the particular kind of space that you are in, what are some of the things that people ask for? So, for instance, let's take banking. What are some of the things that bankers usually look for in their data? How many deposits did we get for a particular week or a particular day or particular period? How many withdrawals? Investments. Um, how much is it? How long has it been? If we compare it to the previous years, how is it? And if we want to focus in the coming years, how is it going to be? And until you understand some of these things, it will be hard for you to practice whatever it is. I always, for the people that I tutor in data analytics, the first thing I always tell them to do is to give me data that is in their field that they understand best. So, for instance, if you are in a field of, if you are just maybe an admin assistant for a company, definitely people do come to your office to ask for your bosses or to ask you about your managers or to make inquiries and things like that. The first step is for you to collect data on them. So who came in? What is their name? What time did they come in? What were the inquiries? Who was the person they wanted to speak to? And what exactly was their problem? This is like your database, and you can run some analysis on this data to give you insight into what time in a day do people normally visit the office. And with this, you can make a strategy and say, so if if you have break time, you can tell yourself that based off the data that I have or based off the analysis that I did, I have realized that people come in between 1 and 2 p.m. And so if I want to go for lunch, either I go early or I go later than that. And that is data analytics. If you look at it from the perspective of a big thing, then perhaps you might not be able to understand it. We all have our spends in a particular day, which grows to a year. So you can decide that you want to put together all your spends for a particular period and analyze how it goes. So, date, the name of the item that you purchased or you used money for, the amount, maybe the time, and maybe where you bought it from. Over time, you should be able to tell for a particular month how much did I spend on a particular item and what item do I normally buy a lot and things like that. And when you're able to do this, it kind of like sparks your interest into what you are doing. If you don't understand and they give you data, if you do Google data analytics on Coursera, one of the problems they always give us, or one of the projects is a project on penguins. We don't have penguins in Africa, or should I say, we don't have penguins in Ghana. And so sometimes you won't even understand what they are talking about. And so you would run the entire analysis on these penguins, and at the end of the day, you realize that you don't even know what's about. But if I give you data on, say, trotro, the time that they get to certain places, and then the amount of money they make in a day. And then I ask you that, analyze this data to tell me whether this business is profitable. Perhaps it would, with the knowledge you have, you'll be able to do that. And then you realize that whatever meaning you're making out of it is meaningful to yourself and to the people you are going to give it to. So sometimes it's not just about learning the tools. Yes, you can learn the tools, you can learn the SQL, the Python, you can learn the Excel, you can learn the whatever. But at the end of the day, you realize that you don't even understand nothing about whatever it is you're doing. And so understand the data that you're working with, get domain knowledge in whatever field that you want to work in. And always try as much as possible to bring it down to your level, because as a beginner, there are a lot of things you might not be able to understand. But if you're able to bring it to your level, then it makes it easier. That is how, that's the advice I have for beginners in the data space.
Okay. So, I mean, from what you are saying is that, I mean, it's safe to start your data analytics journey in, I mean, the simple things, the small things that you do every day. Just
Exactly.
okay. I have another question. I mean, we have a lot of young people here, and in my opinion, one of the things that even discouraged me from even going into the space is because I implement Oracle, yes, and now we have like systems that are doing all these things. I mean, for Oracle, you just need to input the data. You just go into a database and then query everything. You have your reports. You have your your analysis and all these things. The market is becoming saturated. Tools are coming up. People are scared. Okay, is AI going to replace us and all that? How do we stand out in the market as beginners, people from in the intermediate level and experts? How do we
We are not
stand
scared.
out?
We are not scared. No, we're not scared.
Thank you. Who said that? Who said that?
Anthony,
Me. Thank you.
if you are not scared, someone is scared.
I agree with them.
Yeah.
You agree with him? Oh, okay. Then
Totally. Honestly.
okay. So I'm speaking about the people I know and the people I have had interactions with. Yes. How do we stand out as beginners? How do we stand out as people in the intermediate level and people as experts in the
Okay.
data analysis space?
Okay. I know Stephen and who was the first?
Anthony.
Anthony would, since they are not scared, of course, they all agree that we are not scared. Now, these tools were brought to enhance our work and not to take away our work. So let me use someone who doesn't really understand data, for instance, to make an example. You can ask ChatGPT or any of these tools, Perplexity or anything, to maybe analyze your data for you. It can go ahead and give you all the analysis. but you won't be able to. It may be able, yes, it can. Sometimes it's able to interpret it for you, but what is your aim for doing the analysis? You might not be able to tell the tool exactly what you need it to do for you. And usually for people who have the background in data analytics, they are able to do it way better. So I'm able to tell the tool that give me a correlation between this variable and this variable, and then the tool is able to give it to me. And when it gives me a particular number, I'm able to interpret the number as close to whatever. This is close to what I am looking for, or this is not close to what I am looking for. So for people who have the skills already, these tools have come as add-ons to help us improve on what we do and to help us work way faster. There was a time I was doing some analysis and it wasn't really, it was something that I could, just put in one of the tools to see the results. And I put the data in there. After I was done, then I asked it to give me other insights that I might have missed. And it did its work. It gave me a few things that it thought I could add on to it. And well, it did help though. Now, so what I'm trying to say is that these tools, they are not enemies, but for me, they are more like allies to help you to work better and faster. So if you're able to leverage them and use them better, then you'll be way better than your colleague who is not using them. Let me give you an example. I was drafting something, or I think I was writing something, and I asked one of my colleagues about it to read what I had written. Afterwards, I gave it to ChatGPT to also rewrite it in a way that I wanted, in another way. Yes, it did write it in a more beautiful way, gave me more insights and all. But this friend was concerned and she was like, if I continue using ChatGPT, then I'm going to lose my sense of reasoning or thinking. I didn't ask ChatGPT to write it for me. I wrote it and I said rephrase or, add more flesh to it and make it better for me. So these tools, in as much as sometimes they cause some fear and panic, I believe that if we're able to leverage them and use them better, they would help us to be more faster, more help us to optimize, and even give us different perspectives that we might not have seen. So I don't think AI can take away our jobs as data analysts, but it would help us to be better at what we do.
Great. Okay, so that's a sense of encouragement for those who have that phobia.
Yeah.
Okay. We are moving into your role as a head of staff.
Okay.
I mean, you've given us some background, some flesh to what you do. Now you are at the receiving end of the data. I mean, the data that is being put in through your systems and all that. Now you are the one doing the strategy based on the data that you have received. People have a challenge. I mean, I've worked with ERP systems and where people feel like, okay, I'm not going to put in this data. I mean, and it's too much work. And they don't even understand why they have to do this in systems when they can easily go the manual route and get the process done. But then most of these ERP softwares need data for strategy. Now, what are you doing, or what are some of the things that you have done, or how have you created a data literate culture in your team, encouraging people to embrace the role of um, doing the data entry like as a day-to-day process for you to be able to receive the data, for you to be able to give or create good strategies.
Okay. So first off, I'll say I'm lucky to have worked in most of the places. I'll say maybe 80% of the places I have worked, they understand that decisions can't be made just by themselves or based off emotions. And so mostly I meet systems. There's a few places where maybe we don't have a particular system, and so I would have to start from scratch and create it. And then the good news is that mostly in these places, by the time I leave, they're able to adopt the idea of at least having a proper ERP system that's able to capture their data and help them with analysis. Now, the world is changing. If a lot of things are changing, and usually when you travel outside of Ghana, that is where you appreciate some of the things that some of the advancements that's really happening. And sometimes until people understand exactly what the strategy or what exactly the company aims to achieve, they won't do it. So it's just a matter of you letting the people know that, you know what? Okay, so let me give you a typical example. I have a receptionist here who is a national service person who hasn't dealt with data in any way and hasn't met anybody, like hasn't done anything data. So she comes here, and the first task I give her is part of her KPIs for the year is for her to capture all the details of people who come to the front desk to make inquiries in a spreadsheet for me. Now, after that, the next stage is for me to analyze the data and give her some insights. I know that might be a bit too difficult for her to do. I will do that, and then I'll let her know what she can see out of the data. And I believe that moving forward, she would even be more interested in running the analysis by herself. I also have a facilities manager here. Well, before she came, I already developed something, designed something for her to be recording things like some little breakages that we've had, some purchases we've made, and how much it is, the dates, the artisans we have, and their contacts and their locations and things like that. And over a period, we're able to analyze, and she's able to use the dashboard I have built out of it to tell me how much we spent on our building in a particular period. And so now I don't even ask her to input the data. The moment she does a purchase or the moment she does any repairs, she just input the data straight away. So sometimes it's about you allowing or letting the people to understand the importance of what the data is going to do for them before they do it. It's just like kids. When you're giving a child a broccoli and you don't tell them what they're going to get out of it, they might not eat it. But if you're able to convince them and tell them that this is what you're going to get out of it when you eat it, then they tend up to do it. I believe we are humans, and everybody has some level of reasoning. And so if you're able to bring them up to speed with whatever decision or with whatever strategy it is you are trying to bring on, they'll be able to do it, and they will do it well for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. My last question. My last two questions. Then we open the floor. Okay, you have in your bio that you're passionate about fitness, music, children. Um, that shows me that you have like a good work-life balance. Can you tell us some of the tips or some of the things that you do to keep yourself in that balance? How you keep yourself energized to show up at work? I mean, head of staff day, every day you have to be smiling. Yes, you have to be in a good spirit to be
Yeah.
able to. Yes. So, what are some of the things you do? What would you share with us?
Number one, I don't bring the house to work.
Hmm.
So whatever that happens at home, I leave it at home and I come to work. Um, I don't, I don't worry. Perhaps maybe because of my religious background, and yeah, like the Bible says, even if I worry, there's nothing I can do. So usually when something is bothering me, I leave it and then I come to work and focus on work. Also, I always have a book where I write my to do. I always have a to do list. And
I
I
think I
prefer,
noticed that at the Fido events, how you were flipping through that small little book.
yeah, yeah. So I always don't like to keep electronic. I like to write it so that at least it sticks. So, well, that's what has worked for me over the past years. So that's what I do. I keep notes of whatever it is that I want to do. And so for tomorrow's work, for instance, I've already planned my day for tomorrow already ahead of time. So usually I'll plan it on my phone. That's the electronic. When I come back to work, then I'll now write it and allocate time to it. So this is what I'm doing from this time to this time. This is what I'm doing from this time to this time. And I make a few adjustments for my personal study. Either I read a book or listen to some podcast or things like that. And then now for weekends I have church. Usually Saturdays are for church. And then Sundays I have these kids program that I do. So I always make time, wake up a bit early, not very early, because it's usually my rest day as well. So Sundays, maybe wake up at 7, have devotions with my family, finish at 8, do my workouts from maybe 8 to 10 or 8 to 9:30, depending on the kind of energy I have. If I have a lot of energy, I'm able to close early, but the energy is low, then it extends. And then I cook. I prepare for the week ahead, maybe do a few ironings, a few cleanings if I have to. And then I start the kids program at 3, finish at now there are a lot. Previously when there were a few, we could finish at 5:30. Now sometimes 6:30 before we are done. So I'm done, I come back. Sometimes I go to church in the evening and then come early, go on social media a bit and then off to bed. But mostly, I prefer to read. I prefer to add on to my knowledge. I prefer to have a few times with my kids. So basically, that's how my life has always been. Yeah, planning. So I plan. I try as much as possible to even plan. In fact, for Mondays, I plan for the week. So for the to do for the week. And then I break it down into days. And then for the weekend, I plan also. Maybe for Sundays, Saturdays are always for church, so there isn't a lot of planning. But for Sundays, I plan on Saturday evening what I'm going to do, and I allocate times. Usually, when I don't, I end up, focusing on one thing, and it takes the entire time. So that's how I I plan my life and get a few things done.
Okay, so what I gather is that planning does the trick.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm curious. I don't know if anyone else is curious, but I would like to know, like, I would like to see the template for your monthly plan, and then your weekly plan, and then your daily plan. Maybe we
Okay.
can have this conversation after, and then anyone who's interested, please just text me quietly. I'll send it to you.
Okay, because I don't plan for the month, but I usually I have a plan for the year,
Okay.
and usually then I have for each of the quarters what I want to do.
Mm,
If I think I made a post on LinkedIn some time back, I think ago where I was talking about I went revisiting my goals, and then I realized that some of them are way overdue, and I hadn't even touched. And then as you also progress within the year, you realize that there are new things that you actually needed to add that you didn't add. So it's not monthly, but for weekly, yes. But quarterly, yes, I have all of them written down somewhere.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, we we've we've had an extensive conversation, and I'd like to open the floor for our audience to ask questions. I know they have quite a number of questions. So I think maybe you can help me by raising your hands, and then Cynthia is ever ready to answer them.
Yeah.
Anthony, I know you have a lot of questions.
Hi, Madam Cynthia.
Hi, is that Anthony?
Yeah, this is Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for your insightful contribution to all this topic and our discussion. Some of us are trying to learn from where we have gotten to and kind of master the average. It's very insightful. My bit is not more or less of a question. My bit is less of a contribution to something that you said earlier on.
Okay.
As to this notion outside there of data scientists being afraid, people losing their jobs. Of course,
Hey.
we are going to revolve, and that revolution that is coming to this world is going to affect each and everyone, regardless of where you find yourself, whether in the hospital, whether in the schools, whether in the military, whether you are just doing your own TikTok. It's going to affect everybody, and that revolution is expected of us that we want to learn and train ourselves to embrace that change. And so, of course, it's going to eradicate some bit of work, as in the manual works and kind of things that you've been doing over the past. But what we should be able to embrace ourselves as youth, and that we're able to know the science behind these things that are coming up. And so that's why, as a data scientist, you shouldn't be afraid or you shouldn't be scared that, your work is taken away from you. But what you should know that you should enhance yourself, because each and every time, changes come up within this space that we find ourselves. And so it's a very good thing. I just wanted to reiterate and also motivate others, especially if it's not your main discipline. You can take extra courses. You can just go to free or online YouTube. Enhance yourself, because there's going to be a time that we won't be reading books again. There'll be a time that we'll stop writing. There'll be a time that our brain thinks for us and we can know what our brain is thinking. And so you are going to be on top of your game if you embrace this change and work towards it actively. That's my contribution so far.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anthony. And it's true, guys. If you are not, if you are still thinking like the way some of us used to think some time back, no, this is the time. There are paid courses, there are free courses, YouTube is there, Google is there. Try and learn it. And when you're learning it, don't just use it for the copy and paste part, rephrasing your sentences or rephrasing your messages.
In your emails.
Say again?
Rephrasing your emails.
Yes, not just that, but try and learn about it and see how best you can do. I think I took a course in one of it, and some of the things that I realized were way deeper than what I used to think. So, there are so many things that you can actually instruct AI to do for you, and it will do it perfectly for you. I didn't know. So this is an opportunity for us. You can learn something and just commit a few hours or commit a few minutes to it every day. You'll be good at it. Yeah.
Okay. Any more comments? Any more questions? Um, God bless. Stephen, Frank.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
My name is Stephen, right? I'm a data services lead at a bank at FinTech. But the thing is, for me, I'd like to know much about your very first week transitioning from managerial to strategy. Like, how was that week like? What was the whole adoption like? That's what I'm interested in knowing. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for this. I haven't spoken about this with anybody. And I'm surprised that you asked. Anyways, so it was from, should I say, data analytics to leadership. So nervous. If I've been nervous, I'd say it was that week. A week where I was introduced and I kept asking myself, can I do this? It feels like it's a lot of work. So I was really nervous. I was really nervous. I didn't want people to see it. but some way somehow it was people who knew me could see it some way somehow. Um, there was a bit of imposter syndrome, asking myself whether I can do this, whether this is for me. What if it doesn't work out well? What if I don't get if I what if I don't succeed in this? Truth is, I'm really learning and I'm learning by day. Like every day is a learning opportunity for me. I won't say I am even 50% through what I want to, where I want to be yet. I have looked for a lot of mentors who both inside and outside of Fido. I talk to a lot of people in the industry and for advice, for guidance and everything. So for my first week was all being nervous and imposter syndrome and asking myself if I can do this and my mind racing and my heart racing all the time. Yeah, it wasn't as if I applied. It's a different story for another day though. Yes.
Sure,
What? Yeah.
sure. I actually appreciate the insights though. Yeah. The first time you mentioned it, but it wasn't this deep and elaborate. So it's, you know, it's much more relatable now. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. We are human, we are not superhumans. And usually, if everybody is going to be very honest with you, okay, so I got one mentor, or should I say, no, not a mentor per se, but it's like a co- an acquaintance in MTN, and she's also a big woman in the industry. And I was discussing that, and her role is similar to mine. So I got in touch, we started talking, and it looks like everything I was experiencing, this woman was also experiencing the same thing. Then I got another lady from Tanzania and we started talking, and it's the same thing. Then I realized that, you know what? We are humans and these things are bound to happen as far as you're a human being. It's just a matter of you telling yourself that, you know what, what happened to me? It's with me now, and it's a do or die affair. and, they, and we're not going to die, we're going to succeed at it, yes. Thank you so much, Steven, for asking though.
You're welcome. Pleasure is mine.
Yeah, I think that's another. Any more questions? God bless.
Thank you, Madam Cynthia. I think you can just leave your email. Which are some of us we are very shy. We can't talk. So
I know you're not shy.
yeah, I mean we are very very shy. So just give us your office hours or the time that you can be engaging. You can mentor some of us that want to go into the industry, and we can. Yeah, but sometimes the information needs to sync, and trying to know what you want to do, and that thereafter, I mean, there'll be this question, the why question, the if questions, the how questions, and so I mean, we can't get all the questions on the spot, and so that's what I could recommend, that if you can share your email or please a media that can easily get in touch with you, then you can give us as your times that you're available for a conversation or something. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But I'm very responsive on LinkedIn. So, and I know all of you on LinkedIn. So just search me, Cynthia Owusu. If I'm not the first to appear, perhaps I'll be the second to appear. So you can just send a connection request and then you can send me a message, anything, and I'm very responsive over there as well. But Pearl can actually share my email address if.
Hmm. Okay, Frank.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I couldn't join early, but then I just browsed Miss Cynthia's profile, LinkedIn profile, and then I realized that you've had experience in the solar energy sector, the financial sector, and I think the marketing sector. So I just want to ask that. I know this is a technical section, but I want to ask, what is that one? What's that one soft skill that you've been able to, you think it cuts across all the industries, and it's very very important that every data analyst or every data scientist should have? I know there are a lot of soft skills, but since you've worked across these sectors, I just want to know a few of them you have witnessed and you think is really really important for data analysts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Frank. Um, the number one skill that I would recommend everybody to have is to learn to work with people across all the levels in an organization. So you can have people who are senior than you should be able to work with them. People who are in your level, you should be able to work with them. And people who are juniors, you should be able to work with them. I would say my promotion was actually based off that particular trait. Truth is, for all the places I have worked, they always want me to come back. Why? I don't think I am. I don't think I'm the best data analyst in Ghana. Or I don't think I'm the yes. However, they want to work with me because of the way I work, because of the way I relate with people.
Cynthia, are we safe?
Yeah, actually got a call came through, and that's
Oh, okay.
uh, because I can't see anything again. Anyways, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Frank, back to you. I'm sorry for that. So learning how to work with people is the most important thing as a data analyst. Make sure that there are days that you need information from someone. The person might not necessarily give it to you, but you need to keep on asking for it. Find nicer ways of asking. That's the truth. There are places where I've worked where people personalize the job. This role is mine. And so when you're coming in, they're already data analysts there, but when you're coming in, they don't allow you because it's their space. You get it. So you would have to find nicer ways of working with people. And usually you realize that they will keep coming to you for whatever it is. I mentor people here who are not even data analysts. I mentor people who are in collections. I mentor people who are in customer experience. I mentor people who are different business units, business development, and all. They are not looking to be able to analyze data, but they're looking as for other things. And so soft skills, work on your communication. Communication skills is really important. And then also work on your human relationship, how you relate with people. And yet, it's not every time that you have to make it so difficult for people to get whatever it is they want from you. There are days that you should find a balance between being hard and being soft at the same time, and you'll be able to succeed in the industry. That's what I have realized, actually.
Thank you very much, Tia.
Yeah. Welcome.
Any more? Any more questions? Okay, God bless.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Pearl, sorry. I saw you were trying to extract a question from me, but I was on another call. So,
Oh, okay, that's fine.
yeah. Cynthia, thank you so much for your presentation. I think your journey is very inspiring, and most of us want to chat your path as well. I'll take a cue from Frank's question. I want to know, can you give us a sneak peek into your daily routine? I want to know which habit you think or you have that you think you can credit some of your success to. I think we can also replicate in our lives. Thank you.
The number one habit that I have that I think we should all cultivate is reading. Reading. I started reading from Quora. I don't know how many of us know about Quora. And
Interesting.
I started reading about Quora long ago. I don't know how I started on it, but
But what exactly were you reading at Cora?
so previously it was anything to make me happy. So family, friendship, relationship, work, and even sometimes when I'm looking for code, you can still find it on Quora. I used to look for code as well. Finance, but I think finance was number one. How to make money. Quora. So then I transitioned, but before Quora, I used to do a lot of books. Then I transitioned into proper books now. So now I have a lot of books that I downloaded right from the beginning of the year that I'm still reading. I have hard copy books. I borrow books from people. I don't always buy them. And then if I see a book that I think I should buy, I purchase it as well. So reading is really important, and listening to podcasts. Podcast has a way of pouring into me things that perhaps it will take me years to know. There are some podcasts that are very educational. So about self-esteem, about confidence, about speaking to people, about working with people. In fact, even about fitness, about health, things like that. It really helps. On my way to work, mostly in the mornings, I try to do audiobooks. When I close, then I wind down with maybe some high life, some Dada Lumba or some Dada KD or some Kwabena Kwabena or some, you know. Yes, that's on my way back. But usually when I'm coming in, I listen to a book, an audiobook. The audiobooks are also quite easy to listen, and you can actually get a lot. Sometimes it surprises me how I'm able to get all of it in my mind at a go. But and then maybe during my breaks, I have certain books that I read as well. So books reading should be number one. If you do that, you would get, that's one of the easiest way to get like wisdom that would have taken you years to get. So guys, I know now we don't do that a lot. We would rather do social media, most of us. But let's go back to our roots and go back to reading again if we really want to grow at a faster pace. Yeah, so bless, God bless. That's my answer for you.
All right. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Very instructive. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'll take a cue from the podcasts and the audiobooks. I think um quite recent. Before I think I started working, I used to do that, and then I don't know. I mean, life happened, but quite recently, I took an interest in podcasts, and I realized that there's even podcasts for like every field. There are podcasts for AI, there are podcasts for data analysis, project management, and I think it made the work very easy for me. Made the work very easy for me. I mean, what I would go through books to read because now I have I don't have time. But
Exactly.
but now, I mean, listening in to the podcast, the audiobooks, the YouTube videos, um, helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'll add up to what you said. Planning. I think
Yeah.
planning has also helped her a lot. In trying to strike the balance and everything. So I think so. The reading and then the planning, listening to podcasts. I think these are some of the things that I've taken away from your
Yeah.
question. God bless. Okay, it's almost 6. If there are no more, I'm going to ask my last question. Um, Cynthia, what are your final words for us? Um, what would you want to tell your younger self? Yeah.
Yeah. When I started my career actually, there were a lot of things that I didn't do that I wish I had done. And number one is attending events. Yeah, attending events. Um, Events like tech events. Let me be specific. Yes, I would always go back to it, and I wish I had started earlier. Number two, I didn't really make good use of LinkedIn. I had LinkedIn like 12 years ago, but I never posted anything. It was there. And sometimes people will send me connections, and I'll check and ask myself, do I really need them in my connection before I answer? Yeah, until just about 3 years ago when I became very serious with it. So that's another thing. The third is I'll look for a mentor. it's it's better late than never. So even though I didn't do it from the beginning, now I am trying to find mentors in different fields, mentors about life, mentors on fitness, about fitness, and yeah, mentors from different fields to help me navigate my path. Now, the last I would say is preparation. What do you want to achieve? And how do you prepare for yourself for it? If you want to grow in your field, how are you preparing for it? Are you learning by day or you're just waiting for it to, embattle for it to get to you before you drop some? No. You need to prepare for everything because when you're prepared, that's how when the opportunity comes, you're able to take it up. But if when you're not prepared, you won't be able to do it. So guys, make good use of our tech events, make good use of LinkedIn, make good use of mentorship if you can, or if like just find them. The person can even be younger than you, but it doesn't matter. As far as you can learn something from them, please do. And then also prepare, read, learn more, be better at what you do. I had read somewhere, I think it's in the book, how to talk to anyone, that if you practice something for 1,000 hours, you become an expert. And so, whatever it is you are doing, make sure you are practicing it for the next 1,000 hours. Whichever way you are going to get the 1,000 hours lies with you. So, just make sure that you become an expert in your space. If you are calling data analysts, they know that, okay, you too, you can do some, and then they'll call you. But it's not like you can do it, but when they ask you for interpretation, then now you're fumbling. So, be good at what you do as well, and then you'll go places. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. I've had like 4 pages of taking down notes. That has been a very insightful conversation. Would like to end it here. As you said, we can find you on LinkedIn as
Yeah,
Cynthia
Cynthia
Owusu.
Owusu.
Yes,
Simple name.
simple, very simple. Yes, and she's very responsive. Yeah. Please do well to reach out to her. There's a lot you would get from her. She's able to relate on almost everything. Yes, as well. Yes. So thank you guys. We put our YouTube channel, the link in the chat. Please do well to find it. I'll send it again before the meeting ends. Yeah. Um, Thank you everyone for joining and have a lovely evening. Meet you next month.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye. Thank you, everyone.